I like how you emphasize a particular point in there, though, because we've learned this lesson ourselves, where if you're having a consultation with a new client, it is as much an interview of you as it is of them. And of course, that's in part because, they want to make sure you do good service and you want to make sure that they're serious clients and all that. But you don't have to take everyone who comes to you. Mm-hmm. And it's also a great negotiating tactic because when you say at the beginning of an interview, like, hey, this is going to be a discovery interview where we're going to explore who we are. We're going to see what the project scopes are. And if we are interested, then we will offer you a bid. Then we will offer you our services. Because like right there, you're already setting up the standards of saying you aren't the one that has all the authority in this situation. We do actually have a say because we want to work with people that A, want good products because that's what we make. And two, that are interested in fostering a good relationship. That's two ways. And there's a lot of people that if you're not willing to put up those boundaries, they'll come for your services and they will use you up as much as they can. So like on that note, are you willing to share us some horror stories of working with bad clients?
Let's see. I think just kind of going off that, like for me, I get the most enjoyment with work and with this kind of stuff by like working with people that enjoy working with me. Let's see, thinking about challenging stories. I guess just like one horror story was working with a client that didn't value my time. And like this was a job that was on the San Juan Islands where like there's communication about like, okay, so I'm going to charge, to get out there, travel fee, travel time, stuff like that. And then I did the job. This is for a free shoot. And so like I was there for a long period of time. This is when I was newer in the business.
Right.
And they thought that they were doing me a service by letting me come out and take pictures of their, 2, 3, whatever $1 million house.
Right.
Because like these are going to be pictures that you can use in your portfolio, which is kind of true, but also like doesn't pay the bills. I was out there for the full day. Right. So that something that I learned now is like the opportunity cost of not being able to take a shoot back at home. But yeah, I sent over the bill and like they were shocked that I charged like a couple $100 to travel out to San Juan's and back.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I thought we were just going to pay you for the ferry ticket. And so that was a good experience for me, like a learning opportunity to be like, okay, I need to be more clear upfront about travel fees and just like the amount of time it takes. Yeah. So I have had, since I had jobs out there on San Juan Islands, which I'm okay with taking, but just having the clarity to understand that like, it takes an hour to get to Anacortes from Bellingham, takes an hour to get on the ferry. You have to get to the ferry early. Otherwise you might lose your reservation. Ferries might not be on time. They might delay.
Yep.
You don't know how long the shoot's going to take. So like, there's a lot of, there's a level of flexibility that needs to be there. Yeah. And I mean, I did a bid out for a job out in San Juan's that's maybe coming up the next couple of weeks. And I had more context on how much like time and energy and stuff that it would take to get out there. And
so continuing on with that line of thought with being new into the industry and you're willing to do jobs that you probably normally would not have. What was it like starting out? What did you have to do to grow your startup business?
Yeah. So I had to take a lot of shoots. Like I had to do those type of interviews of, offering free shoot for a client so that they could try me out, learning new skills. I had to learn how to do video, like those walkthrough videos. I didn't offer 3D tours at the time. And I had to invest in like a 360 camera. It was like $1,000. So just a lot of like upfront costs, a lot of upfront learning, figuring, like going through these experiences of finding clients that are not super excited to work with me, and then finding clients that after I deliver the photos, they're super excited to like keep working with me and tell their friends. So it's in some ways like it was nice. In some ways it was just interesting to kind of see the type of clients that like my work and that I like their work. And I was thinking like, in the beginning, you don't know what you don't know. And it's sometimes for the best, right? Like you don't know how hard it's going to be. That was 2024. And apparently like the market was like the housing market here in Washington and Whatcom County and stuff was tough. So there's fewer listings where as a real estate media provider, like bread and butter is listing media, like photos and stuff like that. So it was a rough year of fewer listings. Yeah, but I mean, it was a lot of me doing new stuff, like going to the Whatcom County of Realtors golf event for the first time and like trying to get out in front of agents and just try to meet new people as much as I can.
Yeah, because you and I met via networking. And it seems like networking is kind of hard to beat. It's not ever going to get you in front of the most people, but people remember you a lot better once you start networking. Yeah. So what's your experience with networking been? Like, is that your number one form of marketing, or as a media specialist, have you found that there are other avenues to bring in those cold leads?
Yeah, I think it's part of it. It really depends on where you're at. So like where you're located. So here in Bellingham and Whatcom County, like I guess my primary area that I would like to work is like Bellingham area. Just because like shorter drive time, like Blaine, Birch Bay is fine, but it's half an hour to 45 minutes away. I've done a bunch of listings in Glacier that's 45 minutes away. And so like here in Whatcom County, I think it's all part of a cohesive whole of marketing. So there's, like we talked about, there's like Instagram where you're commenting, interacting with agents in town. And then they might show your work to some of their friends. I did like open houses where if agents were doing an open house, I would go to their open house and like introduce myself, which is interesting. Cause like it feels, when I did the first couple, like it felt so weird. It's like, I felt like they were going to be mad at me, which they're not. Obviously like if there's a lot of people in there, then that's a different experience of like, hey, just introducing myself. I see you're busy. Like, I'd love to meet up at some point, versus like, if there's nobody there, like, it's okay to chat with them for like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The first one or two, like the first one I was there for like 45 minutes or an hour, just hanging out. And then, going to like the Realtor Association events, doing brokerage presentations where, that's something I was really trying hard to do last year, was go into an office and like present on something. It could be about my business. It could be about, I did an educational presentation about like what are Zillow 3D tours, stuff like that.
Right.
So just my goal last year, my focus was just on getting in front of agents physically, which complements getting in front of them, virtually via social media.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to someone. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think how many times it was, but they were explaining that normally for your average client, if you're trying to become someone that they think of, that they associate for a service, you have to be in front of them. It's, depending on the time frame, it's either like 7 times over the course of a week, every day, like once a day for 7 days, or you got to be seen by them by like 35 times. And at that point, they start to remember you. And even that's still like over the course of 6 months. It's a continuous effort. Yeah. Which is, it's work. It's not fun.
Yeah. Like I've heard of like you have to be in front of them like 7 times just in general. But either way, just like, the more you're in front of them and like, the idea of like social proof, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that has been, part of it is getting referrals from other agents, having that social proof of like doing jobs for other agents and then, posting it online or having listing live and then just being like, oh, so other, you did a good job for them. Like, I'll happy to give you a try. Just a whole, like instead of doing just only social media or only going in person, having a cohesive strategy, maybe like open houses, is worthwhile. I don't do that as much now as far as like open houses because of having, a baby she just turned 1 in May. And so being very focused, being very deliberate with trying to be very deliberate about where I spend my time. So.
Right. Of course.